مرحبا بكم يا أصدقائي. In today's lesson, we are going to learn how to conjugate verbs in form 4 in Arabic. However, before we get started, if you enjoy these videos and you would like to see more Arabic videos, then please hit subscribe now, as it really helps the channel grow. شكرا جزيلا. لنبدأ. So what is form 4? Verbs in form 4 often have a causative meaning. They are characterized by having a hamza on top of an alif at the start of the verb. Let's see some examples. So, sa'ida is to be happy in form 1. As'ada is to make someone happy, to cause someone to be happy, quite literally. Jallasa is to sit in form 1. Ajlasa is to seat someone or to sit someone down. Dhahara is to appear. Adhara is to show, to cause to appear. Kharraja is to go out. Akhraja is to take out. It also means to direct, like direct a film. Now, let's see how to conjugate form 4 verbs in the past. The conjugation in the past is the same as form 1, form 2, or form 3. You just add the past personal suffixes. So let's use the verb asbaha, which is to become. So I became, ana asbahtu, you became, anta asbahta, anti asbahti, and so on and so forth. I'll attach my video on how to conjugate verbs in the past in Arabic in the video description link. Now, let's see some examples. أصبح العمدة للمرة الثانية بعد فوزه الساحق. He became mayor for the second time after his landslide victory. So, عمدة is mayor, li is for. I'll attach my video on li, which means for, as it can also mean in order to. Marra is time, but it's not as in like time as in a long time. It's in time as in the first time, the second time. Thania is a second. Ba'da, after. Fawz is victory. Fawzihi is his victory. Now notice it's not fawzuhu, it's fawzihi. This is because verbs after ba'da are in the genitive case, and that is indicated by the kasra. So it's fawzihi. Now don't worry about this too much for now. This is advanced case grammar, but it's just to give you an overview. We'll do a video on this. And then asahiq is landslide or overwhelming in this context. So his landslide victory, because it's his, it's definite. So that's why the adjective has the definite article. The fawzihi does not need to have the definite article, the el, because we've got the possessive suffix, the who or the he. So that's why we don't need to say al fawzihi. We just say fawzihi, but then the adjective also has to agree and be in the definite. So it's as-sahiq. أخرجت هاتفها من جبها. She took her phone out of her pocket. So هاتف is phone. Now it's هاتفها because it's in the accusative, and this noun is in the accusative because it is the object of the verb أخرج. And so in verbs, nouns in the accusative take the fatha. So it's هاتفها. من جبها, not من جبها, جبها, because nouns after a preposition min go into the genitive. So it's جبها, genitive indicated by the kasra. هل أخبرك ما حدث بين الصادقين? So, did they tell you what happens between the two friends? هل, we put this at the start to make a question. It's like est-ce que in French. أخبرك, أخبر is to tell or inform. Now they, أخبروا, normally there is an elif at the end for the whom. But when we add a possessive, when we add the the suffix to show it's you, like the ka is referring to anta, the alif disappears. Okay, so whenever you add the suffix of a person afterwards, like did they tell you what happened or did they tell me what happened, هل أخبروني, you get rid of the alif. Okay, it's replaced by the suffix relating to the person who is the object of the verb. ما حدث, what happened. بين is between. الصادقين. So this is the dual, المثنى. صديق is friend. صديقان is in the nominative, But because after a preposition, nouns are in the genitive, or they are in the genitive, it needs to be صديقين. That's the ending. That's the dual in the genitive. صديقان in the nominative, and in the accusative and the genitive صديقين. Now, this is the conjugation in the present tense. This is where it gets a little more fiddly. So it's أنا أصبح. So you have a dhamma on top at the start, and then underneath the second radical, you have a kasra. So أصبح, I become. تصبح, you become. تصبحين, you become feminine. Right, pause this, grab a pen and paper, and write this out until you memorize this, as it's vital that you learn how to conjugate verbs in form 4. Okay, let's see some examples. لا يريدون أن يصبحوا مشهورين. They don't want to become famous. So أراد يريد is to want. This is also a form 4 verb. However, it is a hollow verb. It has a waw alif or a ya as its middle root letter. So we're going to do a separate video on how to conjugate hollow verbs in form 4. This is when there is a verb in form 4 and one of the middle root letters is either a waw, alif or a ya. And then an, they don't want to become famous. After an, the verb has to go into the subjunctive. So يصبحوا, not يصبحون. مشهور is famous. Now, another point about case. After أصبح, like كان, the object of أصبح or كان has to be in the accusative case. So like كان مشهوران, like he was famous. Mashhur has to be in the accusative. So the accusative ending for plural adjectives is mashhurina, not mashhuruna. So yusbihu mashhurina. Now, don't worry about this too much as well, as we'll see more videos on case, but it's just to explain it. هل يسعدك الغناء? Does singing make you happy? So أسعد يسعد يسعدك. Does it make you happy? The ka is referring to the انت. الغناء is singing. يود النادل أن يجلس الزبائن بجانب النافذة. The waiter wants to sit the customers next to the window. So ود يود is the same as أراد يريد, to want. نادل is waiter. أن, after an, the verb needs to be in the subjunctive. So يجلس. I'll attach my video on an and the subjunctive. الزبائن is the plural of zabun, which means customer. بجانب is next to. نافذة is window. Now, let's see how to form the masdar, the verbal noun. So أخبر is إخبار. Okay, so you start by placing a hamza underneath the alif at the start, and then an alif in between the second and the third root letter. So إخبار, it means telling or informing. أخرج is إخراج, which means taking out or directing. So notice the hamza underneath the alif and at the start, and then the alif in between, excuse me, in between the second and the third root letter. أظهر إظهار is showing. That's all for today. I hope you found this video useful. If you've got any questions, please put them in the comments. شكرا جزيلا وإلى اللقاء.